With spring in the air and warmer temperatures on the horizon, an annual concern is rising again in the North Country, or should we say coming out of the ground, as ticks and the spread of vector-borne illnesses such as Lyme disease are on people's minds.
So ticks are actually active anytime the temperature is above freezing. So, even in February and March when we have those nice warm days, as long as the temperature is above freezing, ticks are going to come out of the ground and they'll look for a host.
According to Legis, this search for a host is what leads to the spread of different infections and occurs in 3 stages in a tick's life. The first stage is when ticks first hatch and look for smaller animals such as mice or birds. This is when diseases can be transmitted. The ticks then hibernate twice, each time emerging to look for larger hosts such as deer, dogs, horses, or humans. Legis shared how this can further create dangers.
Ticks can carry disease, and the most common tick-borne disease is Lyme disease. So that's the most common disease in the United States, and certainly here in New York and Jefferson County. And the good thing is Lyme disease is a bacterial infection, so we can treat it with antibiotics. But if it's not treated early, it can cause other problems, and it can make people very sick.
The best way to avoid getting bit?
Ticks do not like sun, and they don't like dry spaces. So, if you keep the grass in your lawn short and it gets a lot of sun, hopefully there aren't going to be ticks in your lawn. But certainly on the edges where there's some shade, the grass is taller and it can retain some moisture, then that's a place where ticks can live. So then if you are going to be in those environments, you want to cover your skin up. So that way, it's a barrier so the ticks can't get on your skin and can't attach.
Additional ways to avoid ticks is to use bug repellent such as DEET or lemon eucalyptus. But if you are bit by a tick, here's what to do.
Once a tick has attached, it takes about a day and a half for it to be able to transmit enough bacteria to cause Lyme disease. So if you find that tick that first day, it's certainly going to lower your risk of getting sick. All right, so the best way to remove a tick is to use fine-tip tweezers. So what you'll do is you'll grab a hold of the tick as close to your skin as possible and just gently pull straight out. So you want to get as close to your skin as possible so that way you'll hopefully get the entire tick. And when ticks attach, they attach very strongly. So when you start to pull, you'll see the skin start to pull up a little bit too, but just keep slowly pulling out and it'll kind of pluck the tick out of your skin.
After removing a tick, Legis emphasized that it is important to watch for symptoms of Lyme disease for 30 days. One of the telltale signs being the infamous bullseye rash.
So the rash, though, some people think that the rash will only show up where the tick bit you, but because the bacteria is in your bloodstream, that rash can actually show up anywhere on the body. And that is a for sure sign that you do have Lyme disease if you develop a rash. 60 to 80% of people will develop the rash, but not everybody does. So just because you don't have a rash, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not Lyme disease. But if you do have the rash, it absolutely is Lyme disease.
Additional symptoms to look out for include aches, chills, fevers, or headaches. If venturing outdoors this spring and summer, make sure to protect yourselves, family, and dogs from ticks. For ABC 50 Now in Watertown, I'm Isabella Colello.